Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video about poker. Today we are going to talk about my new pot odds, equity, and outs calculator. Go to pokerfishhook.com and click the pot odds, equity and outs option. Here we will learn the easiest way to know when to call a bet. The calculator has three sections: pot odds calculator, pot odds table summary, and outs and equity calculator. Let's review the top sections first, using an example. Imagine we are on a flop where the pot is 12 big blinds. The villain makes a bet of 4 big blinds. Now, the total pot is 16 big blinds. To make the call, we have to pay 4 big blinds. Pot odds represent the ratio between the size of the total pot and the size of the bet we are facing. In other words, we have to risk 4 big blinds to be able to win 16. 16 is 4 times 4. So, in this case, our pot odds are 4-1. To the right of pot odds, we have the bet size as a percentage of the pot. Before the villain's bet, the pot was 12 big blinds, so a bet of 4 big blinds is 33%. We have to pay 33% of the pot in order to have a chance to win the whole pot. The last value is equity. Equity is the probability that a player will have the best hand after the cards are dealt. There is a relationship between the size of the bet to be call and equity. In this example, we need at least 20% of equity to call the 4 big blinds bet. The second section is a table summary. We can memorize these values because they are always the same. The second row is highlighted and shows the calculations we just performed. We can choose the first column to display between pot odds or bet size. The third column shows the outs we must have to obtain the equity to call the bet. The first subcolumn shows the outs count for the flop. We can see that for the turn we will need double the outs, because we multiply them by 2 instead of 4. So, to know when we should call a bet, we just need to calculate our equity and consult this table or use the pot odds calculator. While playing, it is difficult to know exactly how much our equity is. So, this is where the outs matter. Now, let's imagine that we don't even have a pair yet. This could happen with a hand like Ace of Spades and King of Hearts. An out is an unseen card that will complete our drawing hand or make the hand stronger. We have 2 overcards. So, an ace or king on the turn will result in a top pair top kicker. There are still 3 aces and 3 kings in the deck. So, we have 6 outs to improve our hand. 6 outs multiplied by 4 equals 24. In this example, we only need 20% of equity. So, with our 24% equity of the outs, we can call the bet. Now, let's look at the outs counter in more detail. The first table shows all the possible draws. A draw is an incomplete hand that only needs 1 additional card to become a strong, valuable hand. For example, if we change our hand to 8 and 7 of clubs, we will have a flush draw and open-ended straight draw. These draws will give us a total of 15 outs and 60% of equity on the flop. The other 2 tables are for backdoor. A backdoor is a hand that requires 2 specific cards to complete a draw. It is a long shot draw where a player needs both the turn and river cards to improve their hand. Let's change our hand to King of Clubs and Jack of Hearts. Now, the only draw we have is 1 overcard. However, we have 2 backdoors. A backdoor straight with 2 heroes cards and 0 gap, and a backdoor flush king high. Finally, we have the option to alternate between flop and turn. On the flop the outs are multiplied by 4. On the turn, we multiply them by 2. Also, the backdoors are disabled on the turn. We reached the end of this tutorial. If you have any comments or questions, please write a comment below.